¿Están listos para aprender las palabras por versus para? Sí, estas dos palabras son pequeñas, pero con grandes problemas. Vamos a ver. Las palabras por y para tienen unos sentidos muy específicos en español. So yeah, they both mean for, but they have specific meanings in Spanish. En inglés se puede traducir a for, by, through, in order to, along, in favor of, instead of. So the words por and para can have all these meanings. Además, la palabra inglesa for a veces tiene el sentido de por en español y a veces el sentido de para. So we have that one word for, but they have por and para, and that's when we have to make that decision. And that's where our big problems come in. Primero indicaremos los usos de para y comparemos esta preposición al inglés. So let's just look at the uses of para and compare it to those uses for English. Para. Pues recomiendo que tomen apuntes y copien estas palabras. Estas son las reglas de para. So your rules, you can remember the word padrad, purpose, abnormal, destination, recipient, opinion, and deadline. Those are the rules. Feel free to pause at any time to write these down. Para is used to indicate purpose. That's our first rule from padrad. Leemos para aprender. We read in order to learn. Or we read to learn. Para is the same thing as in order to in English. Para is used to indicate something abnormal. Para americano, usted habla el español muy bien. For an American, you speak English very well. So you're basically comparing that person to somebody else, and it's just sort of abnormal because they're expecting an American not to speak Spanish very well. Para is used to also indicate a destination, where you're heading. Marta sale para Quito hoy. So she's leaving for Quito today. That is her destination. That's where she's going towards. Para is also used to indicate a recipient. The recipient is whoever is receiving something. Esta pulsera es para mi novia. So this person's indicating that this bracelet that they're showing is for his girlfriend. Para is used to indicate a recipient, and the recipient does not have to be a person. It could also be an object, such as a car. Este volante es para mi coche. The steering wheel is for my car. It has to have some sort of recipient. There's an exception to the recipient rule, though. Careful and look at this. If the recipient is receiving a feeling or an emotion, then we are going to use the word por instead of para. Take a look at this example. Mi amor es siempre por ti. My love is always for you. Even though the love is being given to you and you is the recipient, it's the recipient of an emotion, which is love. Para is used to indicate an opinion as well. Para el alumno es importante estudiar. For the student, it's important to study. So think of maybe the word like according to teachers or according to students. This is the same idea. They're giving some sort of opinion. Para el alumno is saying for the student in terms of opinion. Para is used to indicate a deadline. So think about paras going forward. Like you've got deadlines, you got destinations, you have recipients. Everything seems to be going forward in time. Ustedes tienen que terminar el ensayo para las 2:30. You all have to finish the essay by 2:30. This by is the deadline time, by that time. ¿Cuál uso es? Which use are the following? We can do number 1 together. Para April, Justin Bieber es guapo. That's basically her opinion. So if you thought her opinion, you are correct. Go ahead and do the rest. And you can pause as well. Look at these short sentences. Por versus para. We haven't learned all the rules of por yet, but let's just look at what these sentences say. Iba por San Diego para San Diego. San Diego is a destination, so we're going to say para. Go ahead and try to do the rest. Por favor, hagan 2, 3 y 4. You can pause it as well. Here we go. We have por. Por has different rules than para. And if we want to remember the por rules, we can say AMY. Action, movement, emotion, and exchange. Action. Cause, motivation, or means. Basically how something moves through space and time is going to be movement, and emotion and exchange. Basically what you feel for somebody. We already talked about that. And then exchanging something for something else. So, if it's indicating an action, their cause, motivation, or means, let's see some examples for that. We have La bicicleta fue roto por Mario. So the bicycle was broken by Mario. That was the cause, Mario. It was broken by him. And notice how we use the verb ser and the past participle to say what was done by somebody else. Por is used to indicate actions. Berta fue a la tienda por Coca-Cola. So that was her motivation for going to the store, was to go get Coca-Cola. Por, in this case, means because of. So she went to the store because she wanted to buy Coca-Cola. So you don't say, fue a la tienda porque Coca-Cola, because. You have to say because of, which is the por. Por is used to indicate actions, and let's see what this action is. It's usually some sort of transportation. Fueron por barco, they went by boat. Or you could say fueron por avión, they went by plane. Or fueron por coche, they went by car. So por is also used to indicate the movement through space. Paco caminó por el bosque. Or not necessarily he's going towards something like we used para for, like a destination. We're talking about just how the movement occurred. Por is used to indicate movement through time, the duration of something. Paco caminó por 2 días. So we can say caminó por el bosque y caminó por 2 días. That's the duration. Por is used to indicate emotion, and this is what we talked about earlier. Elena se sintió triste por su mamá. She felt sad for her mother. It's kind of like saying feeling sad on behalf of her mother. She's not necessarily the recipient. Por is used to indicate an exchange. A lot of times we do this with money. Te doy $1 por los dulces. So basically I'm going to give you $1 if you give me the candy. Por is used to indicate exchange when you are taking the place of somebody. I will go in place of Juan. Yo voy por Juan. It's kind of like when I have a substitute. Somebody's going to be teaching for me, and that is going to be the por. I will go in place. So try these short sentences. Let's look at number 1. Camino por or para la calle. Let's decide. That looks like movement. You're not going towards the street. You're walking along the street. Okay, you're going to go ahead and try to do 2, 3, and 4. If you said por for each of the above, you were correct. So hopefully you did that on your questions. And let's look at these 2 sentences. We have the same sentence, but we've exchanged por and para. Carlos trabaja para José. Carlos trabaja por José. Try to think about what the difference in meaning these 2 have based on what you've learned. All right, Carlos trabaja para José. It means he's working for him. So José is the recipient of Carlos's labor. José is Carlos's boss, so he works for José. Now, Carlos trabaja por José, meaning he's working on his behalf. He's missing. He's out sick probably that day, and someone else is working for him, just like I would have a substitute. If you said para for each of the above, you are correct. Also, para is used for after a star to mean to be about to. Estoy para salir. I'm about to leave. You could also say estoy por salir, and that's to be in favor of something. I'm in favor of leaving. Estoy por salir, meaning I'm in favor. So you can be about ready to leave. Estoy para salir, like you're telling someone, I'm about ready to leave. Or you can say, I'm in favor of leaving. Basically, you're trying to make a decision if you're going to stay or if you're going to go. Other verbs that are used before por are preocuparse por, to be worried about. Me preocupo por mi abuela. I'm worried about my grandmother. So these are basically used as prepositions after verbs. Comenzar por. We begin by praying. Comenzamos por rezar. Basically by, that's your por, meaning by. Interesarse por. Raúl se interesa por la geografía. He's interested in geography. There's so many different ways to talk about interest, but here's one of the ways. So there's a whole bunch of idiomatic expressions that begin with por. Feel free to pause this and write them all down. Por allá, por aquí, por ahora, por aquel entonces, por completo, por culpa de, por desgracia. Por ejemplo, por esa época, por la mañana, por la tarde, por la noche, por lo contrario, por lo demás. Por lo menos, por lo mismo, por lo pronto, por lo tanto, por otra parte, por un lado, por otro lado. Por motivo de, por lo visto, por poco, por todos lados, por todas partes, por lo que a mí me toca. And there's a few with para as well. Let's take a look at these. Para siempre. You might say, estaré enamorada de usted para siempre. Para nada. No way. Para nada. It's like you're saying you're not going to do it. Para que is so that. And there are more expressions if you would like to find them in Cliff's Notes or also in your Imagina book. Gracias. Hasta luego. Ojalá que todos entiendan bien. El fin.